everybody. Welcome to Best Coast Podcast, where sports bring camaraderie together. I'm your host, JJ. This is your host, Zach. And welcome to another Thursday night. The Eagles are looking like dog shit. The Commanders aren't looking as great either.
Ooh, that was close. Damn, dude. I thought I was going to be the one that said some shit to get us in trouble, man. And here you go, just like jumping the gun on it.
Right? Dude, it's so tough because my aunt, she's a huge Commanders fan. Right. So she's always said, when we talked about it, we always use their old name, right? Right. Every time we've seen her and stuff like that. So it's still burnt in my head. It's still the Commanders are now 3 years in their new name because they were the Washington football team.
Like that. There's the year there, yeah. So, I mean, I personally like Washington football team. I thought they kind of
loved it
with that, but I also get it. Like bringing in the new ownership, drafting Jaden Daniels, bringing in Kingsbury and Dan Quinn. Like it's going a lot faster and better sooner than anybody expected, and it's fun to watch. Granted, you've got just a shit show in New York and an implosion that has happened in Dallas. We'll touch on Dallas later.
Right.
Why I think
too. I love that. What's happening?
And why I think Trey Lance should start for the rest of the season. But
right.
But we'll get into that when we touch on the NFL later. But yeah, so another Thursday night here. Currently, we're ticking down to halftime here, 7-0 Washington. Jalen Hurts is that's the missed tackle. You probably should make that tackle, guys. I don't know. But it's been and I was telling somebody this today. These Thursday night games are either complete like offensive fireworks, or you get the it's a defensive shootout. And that's we're getting the defensive one right now. But I feel like this could change in the second half because who knows? Thursday night games are. Ignore my snoring dog next to me. He's really rude.
And honestly, in most of these Thursday night games, the second half is where it turns up. They make their adjustments because you can't really plan for a Thursday night game. You can do your small little walkthroughs, but it's too soon. Your body's too beat up. You don't really got enough time in the week to travel
even at home. You start your prep. Like after the Sunday game. Like I remember there was a really good article with Shanahan, and he's like, we would get off the plane and it's like we don't go home. Like it's a compressed week. We start game prepping and doing film and doing our install that Sunday night. And, where everyone sleeps at the office and stuff like that. I get it. They want football on 7 days a week and all that kind of stuff.
I want football on 7 days a week, so
but I feel like the quality suffers. It really does.
Right, it does. And unless they're coming off like a bye week and then they're playing Thursday, then the quality won't suffer.
There are ways to manipulate the schedule a little bit better, but Goodell and the powers that be don't care about that. They're looking for the $1 billion that Bezos paid for this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're just trying to make up that money. Ooh, nice from behind the net, back to the Zetterlund and sitting in the front, and he just put it right in. Cool. It's 2-3 now.
James is also watching the Sharks game. So he's in a room with multiple monitors. I, being a peasant living in southern Canada, just have one television watching football because I'm a patriot.
Give it time. You're still a new house owner. Do you know how long it got me to get multiple TVs? I can have a TV in every house?
I can promise you, dude, that I'm not gonna do that. I'm not that dude. I'm not.
Hey, these are all free. All my TVs that I got, I only bought the big one. Everything else I got for free.
TVs, dude. Like I don't want multiple TVs in my living room or in my house. Was that a fumble?
No. One's a pad and one's a TV, and then I got my actual monitor. So it's not TVs.
Okay, well that sort of changes it, but it doesn't.
It's a little dinky little Amazon Prime pad, whatever they fucking Amazon calls it. Because I'm too cheap to go get like an Apple one or even a Microsoft one. You're not too
cheap. No, it's like you understand that the same thing. It does the same thing for 3/4 of the price.
Exactly.
Let's get into it here. Let's touch on real quick. There's some fisticuffs this weekend.
Oh yes.
There's a UFC fight with John Jones. I personally am kind of over John Jones. You could have been one of the greatest fighters ever and decided to piss dirty multiple times. Probably didn't need to, but that's how it goes. The real fight is 58-year-old Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul. Words were exchanged this week, and I'm not sure how much of that is, they're hyping stuff
set up.
Not like this fight needs any more hype about it.
Right.
Mike Tyson, 58 years old, still looks absolutely terrifying. He's a scary looking dude. He's fast. He's in shape. Like, it's going to be interesting. Is he going to pull punches? Is he going to take his time? He's going to come out and try to finish Jake Paul right off the bat. Can Mike Tyson even be knocked out? There's that question too. It's going to be. I'm looking forward to it. It's streaming live on Netflix. I'm going to check it out. I feel like that's...
I'm going to try and find a way to check it out, too. I don't have Netflix, so I might have to get fucking breakdown and buy Netflix for a month.
Yeah, it's not... They have, trial deals. It's worth getting. You just got to remember to cancel afterwards. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Jake Paul has said some things that I wouldn't go out of my way to upset Mike Tyson. I really feel like that's...
Did you watch him slap Paul and then back up? Dude, he still got speed on him, dude. I was like, fuck, okay, he was fucking...
That is the thing I've noticed in Mike Tyson's training. He is still fast as shit. Like, he is super, super, super quick. Granted, Jake Paul, he's half his age. There's something to be said for youth. We went through Jake Paul's list of people he's fought. He fought Nate Diaz on short notice. He fought, Anderson Silva, who's my age. He lost to Tommy Fury, who was an actual current boxer. Curious to see kind of what Tyson brings to the ring. Looks like he's in shape. Looks like he's ready to go. He's clear-headed and ready to rock. I, for one, would love to see Jake Paul get knocked the fuck out.
Honestly, I just want to see Mike Tyson dominate just because it's Mike Tyson. I always liked him as watching as a kid, so I want to see him. I want to see my youth shine here. I don't give a fuck about Logan Paul. I just want to see Mike Tyson.
It's
Logan Paul.
It's Jake Paul. Whatever fucking Paul it is. Like, I don't. Yeah, I'm with you. Right. Like, I kind of don't really care about these dudes. These guys were YouTube kids who got a trainer and learned how to box a little bit. And hey, more power to them, boys. Get your money. Right. But there's probably, I don't know, for 40 mil, I'd let Mike Tyson punch me for 40 million. Like, I'm not going to lie.
He fought Floyd Mayweather, too.
That was the other Paul, I think, because I looked up his list. Maybe the one didn't show up on ESPN because that one wasn't sanctioned. Logan Paul.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Who's fighting this weekend, then?
This is Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Jake Paul.
Logan Paul's the WWE guy now. He mainly does the WWE shoot. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Well, either way, I want to see Mike Tyson come out there and kick some ass. Just because it's Mike Tyson.
Yep. No, I agree.
I do give it.
It'd be fun to watch Mike Tyson come out there and dominate. And really, I feel like the world right now, it's been a weird couple of weeks. I think people would be happy to watch Mike Tyson come out there and really just put on a clinic and just beat this dude into the fucking earth. I'd feel better.
I did like the diamond encrusted ear guards though. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious, dude. Come on, Mike Tyson, you gotta fall into that one. That's all on you. You better fuckers dude off.
Mike Tyson sells CBD and THC gummies that are ears with little chunks missing out of them. And he did a promo.
No, he sold that. That's awesome.
He did a promo selling those with Evander Holyfield.
That's fucking awesome. I love it. I love it.
It's good stuff.
You gotta lean into that kind of shit. I mean, he did it. He knows he did it. Dude,
that still is one of the craziest sporting events I've ever seen in my. I remember watching that on pay-per-view for $70. First, that dude comes into the ring with the parachute and the glider, and then Mike Tyson bites his ear. Then shit just went crazy. We were sitting there watching it, and I was like, "The fuck is going on, dude? This is crazy."
Right? Because we couldn't see that back in the time. We didn't have all these fucking HD cameras and shit like that, and 4K TVs. We had no idea what was going on. And we all had our little box TVs that were probably no bigger than 30 inches and staring at it from 20 feet away. I was at a friend's house.
We had the big TV that had the projectors in the back, the 3 volt. Weighed what my truck weighs. When you sell a house, you leave that TV because moving it was too much work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Watching on one of those. So Mike Tyson's come a long way, and he's actually become very philosophical in his old age. He also eats a lot of mushrooms, so those two things do tend to go together.
Right.
I'm excited. I'm going to watch it. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I'll definitely be watching it. I don't know if it's going to be live or if it's going to be like the next hour on YouTube, but we'll see.
I'm sure that there will be some probably live updates coming out pretty quick on there.
Right. But usually someone's streaming it right away on YouTube like an hour
Right.
after the fight, not even an hour, you know?
So. Yeah, we'll go from there. Couple other sports updates. After the hurricane that tore through Florida, took the roof off of the Tampa Bay Rays building. Not able to be repaired in time. Is a $55 million fix that they don't...
Dude, so much money.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I thought they said it was only going to be $9 million. I haven't said only $9 million.
Well, apparently the damage wasn't just to the roof. It was more extensive to like the press box, dugouts, like internal electricals, all kinds of stuff.
Right.
So to do it right, it's going to cost about $55 million. Announced today that the Rays will be playing their 2025 home games at Steinbrenner Field right there in Clearwater, which is a suburb of Tampa Bay. Came to an agreement with the Yankees. Yankees are getting compensated for it. Not sure if MLB or Tampa Bay or a combination of the two are footing the bill. But I do give credit to Hal Steinbrenner and the Steinbrenner family. They said that this is the right thing to do. You know, this is the move that needs to happen. We want to do the right thing. This kind of transcends baseball. Yeah, they're a division rival, but this isn't something that happened like, you know, to that other team that has to play in a minor league ballpark this year. This was a natural disaster, not an ownership disaster.
Right.
You know, so,
right. 100%.
So see what happens, John Fisher, when you're not a giant pile of fucking shit. People will help you out. And that's why you're getting no help. So fuck you, John Fisher. Just to remind everybody. So
Jalen Hurts is in the medical tent. I did not see him go in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I had to say that because I thought it was strange.
Yeah, it was
in the medical tent.
He's been dinged up all year. Who knows what it is? They're going into halftime. I would be very surprised if he doesn't come out and play the second half.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the Rays A's. Rays
yeah,
A's.
For sure. It just goes to show, you know, the fact that in Tampa Bay they're already doing like clubhouse renovations, doing all kinds of stuff to make it a major league ready franchise. In Sacramento, no, none of that's really started yet. There's no answers.
Yeah,
there's no answers of like so apparently the major league clubhouse they're going to build is going to be out in center field, and so players are like, so what do I do? I have to pinch hit. What do I do? I have to warm up. Can I get some swings in? Like and there's again no answers to any of that stuff. It just goes to show Steinbrenners, say what you want about them, professional owners. John Fisher bad at everything.
Yeah. No. I don't get how you can put a clubhouse in center field.
You shouldn't.
That doesn't make sense. Like, what are you thinking? I get like the pitchers being out there in the outfield.
Yeah,
but not your clubhouse. Doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. You know, and again, this is just a ham-fisted, just making it up as they go along shit plan. And it just goes to show. And then here again, a situation comes along where the rest of MLB goes and does the right thing, and it gets solved in a matter of months.
Immediately. Yeah, immediately.
Right.
Yeah. For a situation like that was pretty immediate. They got that shit handled right away. Yeah. Right? They didn't stand back there like, nope, let's find you a spot. Because Tampa Bay was competitive for some of the year.
They got ravaged by injuries down the stretch.
Right.
So they did what they did. They pivoted. They made some trades at the deadline, got back some younger players. I mean, they are doing the Moneyball formula, but a lot more effectively than the A's are doing it now, because again, they have ownership that they're going to be building a new stadium that's going to open in 2028. I guarantee you, the Rays' new stadium will open before a single professional pitch is thrown in fucking Vegas. Promise you that.
Right.
But that's the
before
truth.
Voters even vote in a stadium in Vegas.
I will. This is the hill I will die on. Vegas isn't happening for the A's. It's not going to happen. There's no money. There's no location. Nobody wants them there outside of like a dozen city councilmen. So
right, and that's getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to happen. So, props to the Yankees, which is a very weird thing for me to say out loud, for doing the right thing and helping the Rays out here and doing the right thing for baseball. Again, this is a natural disaster, and to take that $55 million and spending it on a baseball stadium when there was so much damage that happened in that area, that money really needs to be spent in so many other places. This was the right move for all parties involved. So props to them.
Well, part of the reason they need to get it rebuilt too is because it was like the hurricane, like if there was a hurricane, a lot of the
like
paramedics and everybody, base of operation, whatever you want to call it.
Not to get too morbid with it, but like having your base of operations inside a building with a fiberglass roof is kind of akin to moving your disaster response center into, like, I don't know, like one of the biggest terrorist targets in New York, Rudy Giuliani. So, maybe moving, your disaster response center to one of the towers, that wasn't the smartest thing to do.
Right.
Well, Rudy's got bigger problems these days. So. Yeah,
he does.
Moving right along here. 2 nights ago.
So bad.
Yeah, it's man. My conversation with the IRS this year is going to be interesting.
You have to talk to the IRS.
It's a family tradition.
We won't get into it on the show.
It's a family tradition. This will come up probably. So what's the word? Evidence. A couple nights ago, Klay Thompson made his return to the Bay Area with the Dallas Mavericks, and again, Warriors franchise. One of the coolest things I saw was over 100 Warriors employees, not like players, but people who work for the franchise, at the arena around them, gave Klay a standing ovation as he walked in, and it was really unexpected. I think it just goes to show, like, Klay, the Splash Brothers thing, him tearing his ACL, coming back out, shooting free throws in that finals game, coming back, blows out his Achilles, misses 2 years, helps him win a title, struggles after that. I mean, your body's not going to be the same when you've had, devastating injuries like that to both your legs as a shooter. Like, leaves the Bay, goes to Dallas, having a pretty good start to the season. He's a great complimentary piece to Luka and Kyrie out there.
He is.
And the Warriors going and giving everybody the Captain Klay hats. And the pictures from that night are great when he comes out and everybody is waving those hats in the air. Really just really, really, really cool moment, for a guy to come back. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere down the road, like when Klay's done, comes back and gives it one more run in the Bay, before he hangs it up. I think that would be pretty cool.
He'll probably retire his jersey in the Bay.
Yeah, they've even said that when it's all said and done, like number 11's going in the rafters. If you think about it, Klay, Draymond, Steph, like, yeah, all those are going up there, and as well they should. I mean, that core was good, and it seemed to be the best for all parties involved. The Warriors are playing really great basketball right now. Buddy Hield stepped in and is doing the Klay Thompson role spectacularly. And also, it was a great game. I still don't understand the NBA in-season tournament. It's like, explain it to me like people are trying to explain, the tariffs to Trump voters. Like, I still don't get it. Like, it still doesn't click. I still don't get the NBA in-season tournament. I understand how tariffs work, but just not the NBA in-season tournament. But it was a great game.
I don't think never mind. I won't get into the tariffs either.
But Steph hitting a step back 3 over their center to win it was awesome. It was a great game. Klay came back, did a very Klay-esque, like rattled off like 8 points in a row in the fourth quarter, was hitting threes, did a little Steph shimmy. Like, he was feeling it, but that's still Steph's house. Warriors got away with the victory, but all around, it was like, when an old friend comes to visit. And it was really, really, really cool vibe. And so props to Klay. Best of luck in Dallas. Hopefully we see him in the playoffs on the road.
Right. Yeah, I agree. One thing I was going to say, dude, is watching Curry he's still got it, dude. Like, shooting over centers and fucking everybody else, how small he is, dude. Like, as a little guy, it makes me proud that someone kind of step in and shoot those. And he's still not, he's still, like 5'10"? So he's just small for basketball, right?
I mean, I think he's like 6 foot, which is small for basketball, but.
Right.
And I had this conversation with someone the other day, like, LeBron changed the game because of his physical size. Like,
Yeah.
Now everybody's all big and buffed and on like nutrition programs and lifting weights and looking like, outside linebackers and tight ends. When LeBron came into the league as a young man, he was one of the few guys that was like that. But what Steph has done, like everybody is shooting threes now. Everybody's shooting it from the parking lot. Look at Wembanyama, 7 foot tall center who can run the court and shoot the three. That was unheard of.
That's scary.
5 years ago. That was unheard of 5 years ago. Nobody did that. And I do feel like most athletes are like, no, I don't go on Twitter. I don't do social media. I don't read the news. I know that Steph hears like the Stephen A. Smiths and, the Kendrick Perkins and all those other talking heads saying that he's old and he's lost a step and he's never going to win another championship. That fuels him. You know that it does. You know that really, really does, And so he comes out, can still, shoot it from anywhere on the court and take over games and dominate. And the Warriors, one of the things that they did this sort of mini retool in the offseason, they firmly believe that as long as they have Steph Curry, they can compete. And we're seeing that right now because that's what they're doing. And
I agree.
I mean, Draymond's got a little more pep back in his step, playing like Defensive Player of the Year again. The young guys are showing up. Granted, a lot of basketball left. People get hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Hit slumps. But it's been fun to watch. It's been fun. Which leads us to the another Bay Area team that did a full-blown rebuild and are coming out of it, the Sharks. Sharks were 5-2-1 in their last 8 games, looking significantly more competitive out on the ice.
So much more competitive.
That game against Philly, they were down. That team last year 100% would have packed it in and just given up. Came back, took it to overtime, got a point out of it. You're seeing bigger players take runs at Celebrini. And then the Sharks are responding with physicality, grabbing guys by the throat. You don't do that to our rook. You don't do that to our starter. You don't do that to our number 1 pick. That's the grit I like to see. They looked good for the first period and a half today. Then they didn't. It's 3-1 right now.
They just disappeared.
Yeah, it went away. But the Rangers are also a really good team, and Panarin
2-3.
It's 2-3. Okay, yeah.
We lost 2-3.
Oh, the game's over. Okay. Yeah. But again, when you're going up against a guy like Panarin, like you're going to give up some goals, But again, they made it competitive, which is really what I want to see out of this team. I hope as the season progresses, they start beating the teams that they're supposed to beat, like the Chicagos, the lower tier teams and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I'd say it's an effective road trip so far. I'm pleasantly surprised with what I've seen.
So I'll say this: the Sharks haven't seen a Celebrini level caliber player since Marlowe's been drafted. Don't get me wrong, Logan Couture was great and all when he came out. Same thing with Thomas Hertel. He had some good dangles and an awesome shot. Yeah. But watching Celebrini out there with the puck, it's like he's dancing like the tango, and like when like in the movies, everybody stops and watches because he can sit out there and dangle and twist and turn, and then all of a sudden there goes a shot, and everybody's like, "Wait, he shot that? No way!" Like I hear it from other teams' interviews. Like, what are you guys going in to do to prepare for Celebrini? It's like, well, we can't really do much, but just make sure we're rushing him and getting to him as quickly as possible. Make sure we're getting to his face. Make sure we're hitting him. Make sure he's got no time and and lots of pressure on him because you can't stop a guy like that. He's going to get his moves on, and
he's going to get beat. He's going to get his looks. He's going to have his opportunities.
Trying to limit him.
Yeah, exactly. Got to limit him. I did like on that first power play when they had him and Will Smith out there on the power play. I know the power play for the Sharks this year has been anemic, to put it politely.
So bad.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad. But to have the two young guys out there, that's what you need. And it reminds me of the days of when you had, Thornton, Pavs, and Marlowe out there on the power play. The couple years when they had games.
I was going to say Chico.
Chichu?
Chichu.
Yeah, Chichu out there. I mean, then there was Hertel and Meyer, on the second unit on the power play.
Right.
That's what you want to see. And I understand that they're trying to feed these opportunities to the young guys in bite-sized pieces. But I am hoping that increases quickly as we move through the season here.
And another thing, too, watching Celebrini's first power, what's it called? Penalty shot in overtime, where they do the penalty shots.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man, if that puck didn't jump up on him, I guarantee you that would have been a goal. Because he went to go dangle, and all of a sudden you could see the puck lifted up, and he didn't want the puck to lift up just then. So a little bit of nerves, So hopefully next time around in overtime, when that goes in, he's going to be the first goal shooter again, and
Yep.
you're going to see a puck go in. And
he is. He's going to
you're
have
not going
to
to see
see.
many of those.
Yeah, I know he's going to have the C on his chest next year. You can tell. It's the future is bright for the Sharks.
Mm-hmm.
Curious to see what they do at the deadline this year. They're going to be sellers, obviously, but it's like, can you get back picks? I think that there's balls out.
Oh, dude, you're a couple seconds ahead of me. Oh, why was I behind? Okay, yeah, ball's out. It's Washington's ball.
No, they got it back.
Oh, okay. I did. Yeah, see, I was for some reason I was behind.
Oh, that's just bad ball protection right there.
Yeah. At least, dude, that went right to him. That's what you do. You drop on the ball.
I would be incredibly surprised if the Sharks went on a run and were sniffing around the 8th seed. I mean, hey, if they do, awesome. I'm here for it. But if there were some depth pieces that you could part with to get back some, young talent, draft picks, stuff like that, I think it's worth kicking the tires on. I do think that the Sharks also have a very they got a lot of depth down in the Barracuda.
See, that's the thing. I don't want to give up our young talent and to be a seller. I want us to kind of try to if we're going to be a seller, I want us to acquire someone that's a proven guy.
Yeah, but I'm saying if someone wants like a Tyler Toffoli or
right.
So guys,
I don't want to lose Toffoli though. I liked what he's brought into the Sharks.
Well, it is, and I think you need to have some of those. It's such a young dressing room that you need to have some veteran presence in there.
Honestly, I just kind of hope they stay neutral and then go and acquire people during the offseason with all the cash flow that they have.
Exactly. That would be ideal for sure. And I think that, again, San Jose is going to become remember for a while there, the Sharks were in at the trade deadline on everyone. They were in on every big free agent, everything that went along with it. I think that
it's because they were in it.
Well, they're in it. I think quickly it's going to come back to a place where guys want to go and play with exciting young talent, with an organization that can spend money to go and be competitive. So it's going to be fun to see how this plays out moving forward.
Yeah, I'm excited. A huge Sharks fan here. I got so many Sharks gear around this house. People know I'm a Sharks fan. It's like you come in, no question. My main sport of watching is hockey, and football's kind of second. Until the Rams won the Super Bowl, then it's like now they're kind of even again, right? And once I came back to LA, once I came back to LA, they kind of came even again. So, but yeah, let's go Sharks.
Yes.
I love seeing their competitiveness. I love seeing them actually being in games this year, not getting beat by like 10-0. It's just that was pathetic.
Yeah,
last year.
Multiple times.
That was hard to watch.
Getting beaten multiple times by 10-0.
Yeah, that was just so hard to watch. This year, I'm excited to watch every Sharks game. I hear Sharks games on. I'm like, oh shit, I missed it. Like today, I was pissed because I was in New York and they played at 4:00 today. I'm like, oh, I thought they started at 5. Nope, they played at 4. So it's like I missed the first period. So I was pissed.
All right. Do you want to do NFL picks or what do you want to jump into here?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do picks.
Sure.
So let me pull up my screen here.
Let me get my little cheat sheet here.
And this is our last week's picks. We tied 8-8. Yours is the ones you won are in the orange. The ones I won are the light blue. So the Bucks and Chargers game I won because the Chargers just beat the shit out of the Titans. And then you won the Dolphins game and you won the Commanders game, the Steelers game. So it's funny, we're both picking our teams to win, but we're not winning the bets on it.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel the same way this week. It's 6.5 is the spread for the Niners and Seahawks, and Niners are going to win. I don't know if they're going to beat them by that much.
Yeah, 6.5. And me and you are both taking the Commanders today, and kind of looking like we're making the right pick. They're driving down. They're getting good momentum every play. They're just not finishing drives. So, and I don't know what the hell the Eagles are doing. 2 missed kicks already. Those were tough to watch.
Backup kickers, dude. Backup kickers. They're
Is he a backup kicker in the Philly?
It's not a Elliott, dude. It was some other guy I saw was out there. Maybe that was the guy on the kickoff, actually. Yeah, we'll get into. I have some opinions on kickers.
Oh yeah, I
I'm
forgot
starting to
what
become a
happened in
little,
San Francisco this weekend.
I am starting to become a little Dan Campbell-esque in my thoughts. Like, hey, maybe you should just go for it on fourth down. I get it
Makes
now. I
sense.
get what he's thinking. I get what he's doing. So
All right, let's start off with this first doozy of a game. Lions Jaguars, game of the cats. Lions are favored by, Lions are favored by 14 points. I think they cover. Honestly, I personally think they cover.
I don't. I think the Jaguars played again with Mac Jones as the starter. Really gave Minnesota all they could handle and then some, especially from a defensive standpoint. I think the Jaguars cover that. I'll take the Jags. Yeah,
I'm taking the Lions. I want to see their continuing dominance. I'm still a huge Goff fan personally. I had nothing against Goff with him leaving. I loved him as a quarterback. I thought he was accurate. He just couldn't develop under McVay because every coach he had besides McVay would get poached the next season.
right.
And he was too young to get developed that way. You can't have a new wide receiver or new QB's coach, a new offensive coordinator,
new offensive coordinator, new personnel around you, like all that kind of stuff. The Stafford trade is one of those rare trades where it worked out perfect for everybody.
I think so. I really do. We got a Super Bowl out of it. Lions are well on their way to winning the Super Bowl this year.
Detroit is right now, in my opinion, is the team to beat in the NFL. I think that they're better than Kansas City. I think they're the best team in the NFC.
Yeah, I agree. What happened here? Oh, delay game.
Yep, delay game.
You can't do. How do you do that on the?
That's such a just dumb procedure penalty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch, you're gonna miss this one here too.
Dude, that's what happened to the Rams. Fucking Limmer fucking false starting, and then they missed the 57-yarder, and that gave Dolphins 7 more points. Oh, nope, he made that one.
Oh, yeah. Well, so often you see that happen, where they got to kick it again, they shank it or something. So, all right. What we got next?
Packers, Bears. Packers are favored by 5.5, and I think they get that.
I think the Packers cover. The Bears have forgot how to score.
Right. And firing Shane Weldon's going to help them, but I don't think their offensive coordinator behind Shane Weldon's any better, to be honest. He was the Carolina coach offensive coordinator last year.
Yeah. So which wasn't exactly a barn burner of an offense. So
I think the players were calling for him.
The Bears started hot, and Caleb Williams showed some pieces. But again, there's so many deficiencies around that offense and that coaching staff and everything that goes with it. So, yeah.
I think the Bears' defense started hot, and their offense never really showed. And then now their defense is starting to get frustrated that their offense is supposed to have all the star power and not do anything.
The game, that is not sustainable over the course of a long season. So
it's not. It's really not. I agree. Next up, we got Browns Saints. Saints are favored by a point. And honestly, I'm taking the Browns with this one. I don't think... don't get me wrong, their new head coach is getting them pumping and driving, but I still think that Browns defense is still there and to contend. I don't know what their offense can do, but I think their defense can stop the Saints' offense.
I'm actually going to go with the Saints on this one. I think they got some momentum coming off last week. You got Derek Carr back. Alvin Kamara is getting healthier. And again, that Browns offense is such a unknown of what's going to happen from not just week to week, but drive to drive.
Yeah.
So at one point, I got to take the Saints on this one.
All right. Next up, we got the Rams Patriots. Rams are favored by 4.5. Of course, I'm going to take the Rams. And I'm guessing you're going to take the Patriots just to piss me off.
Four and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the Pats defense came to handle business last week, and I'm liking more and more of what I see out of Drake May with each passing week.
Same.
I'm actually, I'm going to go with the Pats on this one. I think the Pats cover. Not to win, but they cover.
Should we talk about the Rams Dolphins now or later on after we're done with our picks?
You can talk about it right now because I think we all want to know, James, what the fuck happened?
They put Jonas Jackson at fucking center. What did I tell you? Do not put him at center. Do not put Steve Leo left guard and leave Limmer at center, please. What happened with all the snaps in the Dolphins game? They almost went over his head all the time when he was in shotgun mode. They were bad snap after bad snap after bad snap.
But are you going to
pissed me
blame?
off.
Are you going to blame the bad snaps? Yeah, I get that, but that offense was just anemic. They couldn't get any momentum going. And yes, I understand that. Yeah, that is that going to go out of bounds?
No, it just got really low. So what happened too was they had pressure in his face from the center all game long. Stafford had no time in the pocket. They didn't have time to develop. That was one thing though. So this was what I don't get is why McVay left our same game plan in there when we're going against Ramsey. Ramsey knows the game plan. He was with McVay for so long. He knows what McVay's going to do.
He knows the schemes. Right. He knows the route trees. Yeah, for sure.
So they blocked McVay. McVay just said, no, we're going to come out here and try to be the best we can be with a shitty offensive line. You know, if he would have changed out Limmer in the second half, I guarantee you that second half would have gone the Rams' way. I guarantee it. Limmer has only allowed, in his 500 snaps, 1 pressure, 1 sack, and 1 QB hurry. Last night, with Jonas Jackson in there, he let in like 5 or 6 pressures and 2 sacks. It was bad. And then he had all the forced fumble or the bad snaps. Like, you can't do that as a centerman. You got to be a stud out there. Especially with the snapping. That's what I mainly was wanting him out there for.
Yeah, I was surprised that they didn't change the game plan. They didn't make some adjustments on the offensive line. Or they didn't bring a tight end and have someone come and try to chip in the middle. Like put Blake Corum, ran a pro style offense. He can get in there and block. Have Kyron Williams go in there and try to prevent some of that. Try to prevent some of that heat from coming up the middle, and they just didn't make any adjustments.
Right, and so I think a winning strategy for the Rams is give me more Omar Spites, give me more Limmer, and run the fucking ball more. Because again, what happened to the fucking rush? The running disappeared. He ran maybe a dozen times, and they were decent on the run. They were getting 2 or 3 yards, yeah, but guess what? You're going to break a big one every once in a while if you keep it running.
Well, you have to run to set up the pass, and I feel like the play call and the game plan went out the window, and the play calling got unbalanced, and right. Miami knew that and allowed them to start teeing off even more defensively. And again, that's a talented Miami defensive line. You got Christian Wilkins playing in the middle there, a very talented defensive tackle.
Right.
So that was unfortunate.
And then one more thing about Omar is, he had a league high 8 tackles and only allowed not a league high, team high of 8 tackles. Guess what? Guess how many tackles he missed? Guess how many?
8.
0 missed tackles. 0 missed tackles. Every time he went to tackle someone, he fucking tackled him. You can't kick a guy like that out on a team that can't tackle. You got to leave a guy in there like that. I know they're giving Roseman that because he knows the play calling, and you have to kind of leave him in here right now because he's kind of the green dot, and you can't leave it to an undrafted rookie to kind of come in there and be the green dot of the offense. But you got to keep Spites in there as long as you can. 8 tackles, and he had only allowed 1 pass, and I think he got 4 or 5 pass opportunities. Only allowed 1 pass, and it was for 6 yards. And he made the tackle right away. There was no extra yardage. He tackled the guy. Please leave Omar in there. I've been begging for it since the preseason. Please leave him in there. And then, with the Dolphins, one of the best offensive line, our defensive line showed up and showed well. They got 3 sacks. Tua was running around like crazy. I was surprised the only reason he was able to get out of there is because he's young and he's quick. But please don't tackle with your head again. God damn it. Dude, when I saw that, I just kind of cringed.
On that interception, that was...
Yeah.
I think you heard the whole world, collectively, okay, he's getting it.
Yeah. Especially when he went for his head. At least he went down low for the knees, where it's less likely.
A knee to the ear hole of the helmet for a guy with concussion problems is just go slam your own head in a car door.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
that's my rant on him.
it's scary every time I see him out there.
Yeah, that's my rant on the Rams. That they blew that. And part of it too is I think McVay sandbags during what the fuck? They were not going to tackle.
No, he had a lot of the entire middle of the field was open.
Yeah, and part of the reason I think McVay doesn't change his game plan on primetime games is he sandbags a little bit. He doesn't like to give his whole hand on primetime games.
I was going to say, he likes to keep his cards kind of close to the vest there, which I don't know.
He's
man.
too conservative at times.
And I don't think the Rams are in a position where they can afford to be sandbagging games and sandbagging play calling right now. Like the as competitive as the NFC West is, every single game matters here on out. Like,
it does.
Not for seeding, just to try to get into the dance. So.
Right, and I think that game might have lost us the playoffs. Honestly, I really do. I think that's going to be the game that one game is like where we should have. We should have beat
Miami, and that would have put them right back in the. Kept it jumbled up at the top.
At least got touchdowns against Miami. If we didn't get any touchdowns, that's the biggest thing is we didn't get any touchdowns. We just came out flat faced and kind of gave up and like, oh yeah, let's just kick a field goal. What are you kicking a field goal for? We're down like 3 points. We're down by 2 touchdowns. Let's go out there and get some fucking points.
Right, you need 7, not 3 for sure.
You're right. So yeah, I can talk about this all day. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one.
All right.
Ravens Steelers. Ravens are favored by 3 points. Let's see here. My notes. Who did I take?
I'm actually going to go. I'm going to go with the Steelers on this one because the Ravens have historically struggled against the Steelers in a close game like this. George Pickens has quickly become one of my favorite unhinged wide receivers. Like,
right. Dude, I love Pickens. Yes,
he'll make a circus catch and then try to fight you the next play. That's my type of dude.
Yes.
That is my type of dude. Yeah,
that's my type of wide receiver. Honestly, I have the Pittsburgh chosen too. Before this, I kind of went through. I was like, you know what? Pittsburgh with 3 points, yeah, I'll take that. Especially with the Ravens' pass defense, they're fucking Swiss cheese. They're letting everybody throw it against them. Now, don't get me wrong, Burrow's a different type of passer than Wilson, but Wilson can still sling the ball around.
Right, for sure. I do think the addition of Mike Williams to that offense, you're going to see Pickens and one more one-on-one opportunities, which is a bad situation to be in as a defensive back. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh in this one. Yeah.
All right, next up we got Vikings versus Titans. Vikings are favored by 6 points. I mean, I still kind of got to go with Vikings with the points.
No, I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I think this is a get-right game for them. They're going to get back on track. They've had a couple of rough ones in a row. They squeaked out a W that they really had no business getting against Jacksonville. Sam Darnold has to stop throwing red zone picks because there is no J.J. McCarthy coming off the bench to try to save the day for them in the season. Now, the fact that Minnesota managed to stack as many early season victories as they have is going to benefit them for these last couple of weeks. But they have an opportunity against a not good Tennessee team to get the ship, get the ship righted here, get out there, score some touchdowns, protect the ball, run the clock, get a W, and get things back going again.
I agree. I think this is the team to do it against too.
Yep. Sure.
Next up, we got Raiders versus the Dolphins in Miami. Dolphins are favored by 7.
Dolphins all day long.
All day, yeah.
Raiders are starting Gardner Minshew like it matters at this point. Like,
right. They're tanking for whoever's the first. I think they're tanking for Miami's quarterback. Honestly, Miami U, whatever they're.
Nah, dude, it's gonna be it's gonna be Jalen Milroe out of Alabama. Is gonna be the guy. I think.
You think he's gonna be the number one? I see. So. I want the Miami guy personally.
I mean, I don't think taking any SEC quarterback and throwing him in there year one is a good idea.
Right.
And that's the other problem I have. The Raiders don't have a system in place to develop young talent.
Well, maybe with Brady they might. I mean, you heard him bitch about it. So all over the internet.
All of a sudden, Mark Davis is going to start fucking listening to people. That's
Brady. He might.
I don't know.
Dude, if you have Brady in your ear, like, how could you not listen to Tom Brady? I don't give a fuck what owner you are.
Your dad was Al Davis. You don't listen to people. That's why. I hope
guess
I'm
I should.
wrong, and I know that trying to bring in a guy like Brady and his knowledge and wisdom of the game to try to get your team into the 21st century and all that sort of stuff. I just feel like Mark Davis is unable to, I think, take that advice quite yet. So
Maybe that wig's glued on too tight, huh?
yeah, that haircut they got, dude, it's just a big mess. So.
All right, let's go. Colts, Jets. Jets are favored by 4 points. I think Jets win, but
the Colts are
by
putting,
field goal.
Yeah, Colts are putting Anthony Richardson back in at quarterback. I actually personally disagree with that. I think
They should keep Falcon.
Yeah, I mean, neither of them really look good, but you invested a first round pick in Anthony Richardson.
Right.
I'm actually gonna go with the Jets on this one. I think this is a get right game for the Jets. They're gonna win this one, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, the Jets are gonna come back," and then they're gonna lose like 3 in a fucking row. So,
right. All right. Next,
you know who that is sitting next to Josh Harris right there?
No,
that's Bob Myers. That was the Warriors' former GM who built the Warriors championship teams.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a consultant.
Oh, is he for the Commanders?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I mean, that's a great talent to have right there. I mean,
it is. I mean, it's a knowledgeable dude. Like, there's ways to go about building rosters and building franchises to be competitive, and I think it translates across most sports. And you could do a lot worse than Bob Myers.
Yeah, all sports. Next up, we got the Sea Chickens versus the 49ers. Niners are favored by 6.5.
6.5. I'm actually going to change my opinion on this. I'm going to take the Niners to cover. I think you're going to see McCaffrey get in the end zone for the first time. I think you're going to see 4 touchdowns to 4 different players. You're going to see McCaffrey, Kittle, Debo, and another dose of Ricky Pearsall. And it was great to see Ricky Pearsall get his first touchdown last week. Like, with everything that's gone on
with the Niners too.
For him getting shot to now to take on a bigger role with Ayuk being out. And I do think that as he gets more comfortable in this offense, you're going to see a lot more of him running free out there. Let me pull up my Niners notes here. Hold on.
You reminded me that they got Christian McCaffrey back. So, yeah, I got to go with the Niners and the points, too.
Yeah.
Because the Seahawks can't – what the Rams did to them in the run game, the Niners are going to do so much more worse than them.
Right, that much more effectively, for sure.
Yeah.
A couple of Niner updates here. Nick Bosa was out of practice again today with a hip issue that he's been battling for a couple of weeks. That was why he was did nothing in that game up until he made that big third down sack on Baker to hold him to 3 instead of 7, which allowed them, which I get it. But for a guy who's making $27 million a year or whatever he's making, you need to be showing up on the stat sheet. Normally, even with Bosa, you're seeing he's getting there. He's getting pressure. He's forcing early throws, getting the quarterback off schedule. Didn't see any of that at all on Sunday. And I understand with the hip, this can cause issues with your mobility and your effectiveness. But you got to get up there and do something with that. So damn it, where my notes go? I just clicked the wrong thing. Sorry about that. Niners special teams. What the fuck? I'll say it bluntly. What the fuck, man? Nick Moody, you cost the Niners a win in Cleveland last year. You cost them a fucking Super Bowl. You missed 3 kicks last week. Yeah, you made the one that counted, but that game should never have been that close. We'll go and talk about the elephant in the room, the Debo incident on the sideline. Debo is a passionate dude, plays hard, but you don't see a lot of that happen for the Niners. Everyone talks about how it's a high character locker room. It's a place players want to play. Everyone has each other's backs. You don't see a lot of that. And I think that unfortunately speaks to the level of frustration this entire roster is feeling right now. Things have not gone as planned this year between Ayuk, McCaffrey, wins games that got away that they should have won against both the Rams and Arizona. The frustration boiled over. The other side of that is I do get Tabor Pepper, the long snapper, getting his kickers back. Debo coming over and telling guys to lock in. Motherfucker, what do you think we're trying to do? We're trying to get it figured out. First game back off a high ankle sprain. Maybe they brought him back a week too soon.
Maybe. Because his kicks weren't that bad. They just kind of hooked a little bit.
Right, which to me speaks to, just it's a technique thing. Probably trying to favor one side. Don't want to put too much pressure on that ankle, stuff like that. I think it's something like that. But that kind of kicking is going to cost you a playoff game. It's going to cost you a spot in the playoffs. It's going to cost you a playoff game at some point. It needs to get figured out. All the two kickers that they had before have already signed with other teams. Right. There was another kicking transaction got done today for the Jets. So there's some slim pickings out there. Got to get it figured out. Can't cover anybody. They brought in a kicker off the practice to put on the practice squad. Mitch Wisnowski, the kicking Australian, has a bad back. His yard per kick is significantly down this year. Giving up big returns on punts and kickoffs. Special teams is an absolute fucking disaster. And any team that's going to be competitive, you have to be effective in all three phases of the game. Was Debo maybe a little bit out of line? Yeah, but based on the conversations and press conferences during the week, it's been squashed. Everyone talked about it. Meant well, poor execution. Probably won't happen unless he misses a bunch more kicks. In which case, I could see Jake Moody having a short tenure in San Francisco.
Right. So I got to ask, after watching the Moody thing and stuff, and then watching the Lions guy go up there and fucking kiss that goalpost 2 times in a row, did that upset you even more? No.
Not really.
Okay, just ask. Yeah. I was just wondering.
They got the W. The game never should have been that close. I was nervous that if he missed it, having to go to overtime and ask him to kick again. No, that wasn't going to go well. Needed to get the W when they did. So move on to another week. Hopefully, it's another week of treatment on that ankle. Feels better. Kicking on his home turf. There were, and both sides talked about this, there was some weird wind stuff going on in Tampa Bay that day. Like the wind was swirling a little bit, which might have been just enough to cause those to kind of like arc the way they did at the end.
Right. And I think that's what it really was too.
You're not be able to kick at 100% when you can drive through the wind. You're going to be susceptible to things like, wind gusts and stuff like that. So
if you don't get that ball to go perfectly end over end, the wind's going to pick it up. Yeah, if you get it to kind of do like that, the wind's going to take it. Doesn't matter which way the wind's blowing. But if you can get it to go that way, it will cut through the wind. If you can just get that tip to go over and over and over perfectly, then you're good. But if you get it to lean a little bit, that's where you get the hook. So you got to kick that thing square. I mean, you probably got, like the size of this racer of width to kick right perfectly.
Got to hit it right on the money for sure.
But you get paid millions of dollars to do it. I mean, maybe $1 million to do it, but still $1 million.
Find out what Jake Moody's making, actually.
Because he was drafted, right? He was drafted in the 3rd round?
3rd round pick.
I think he was, right? In 3rd round, if I was right?
Yeah.
Because I remember the Rams were going after him, too. The Rams wanted him in the 3rd round. I was so pissed off that you guys jumped up in the 3rd round to get him.
Yeah, Jake Moody's annual salary is $1.3 million.
Still $1 million to kick field goals.
Yep. Got one job. Kick
the ball through the uprights.
Yep, exactly. And at the same time, the way that the kicking has evolved in the NFL, not like even 50-yarders now, everyone's like, "Oh, that's money. It's money. It's 50-yard. It's 50-yard field goal. Should be easy money." It's still pretty hard. But kickers have gotten
way hard.
Kickers have gotten better, like everyone else, though. Like they're better athletes. Right. There's more specialized training from them. There's all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's the end of my rant.
At the 50 yards too, you got to get it above the line. That was what the hard part was back in the day. Is people couldn't get it above the line tall enough, so people were able to block it. Now I don't know what they're doing, but they're able to get that ball up and going. So
it's steroids and squats. Steroids and squats. That's how you get lift on the 50-yarder plus field goals. So,
all right. We'll get next. We got the Broncos versus the Falcons. Broncos are actually favored by 2 points, and I kind of have Denver on this one. I kind of thought this was going to be like my upset pick of the week. I was going to say Denver over the Falcons. But since they're the favorites, I can't really call it my upset.
Well, this is a game that the Falcons are built to lose. because that's what they do. And so I'm actually going to take Denver in this one also. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, it's in Mile High too. I think this just so favors the Broncos. Their defense is so much better. Their defense keeps clicking. And what's their young guy's name? Their quarterback looks like he's coming into full form almost.
Bo Nix, yeah. And again, that was the game they should have won last week. They really did. Again, Kansas City got off the hook yet again. So
right. Speaking of Kansas City, next we got the Chiefs-Bills. Bills are favored by 2 points because I think it's in Buffalo. So I think that's why they're getting the 2 points.
It is in Buffalo, yeah.
So what do you think? I mean, I'm
going with Buffalo in this one. Yeah. Kansas City has been playing with fire so much this season. I think Buffalo gives them the first loss.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I think it would be kind of fitting for Josh Allen to kind of give him the first loss, honestly. A little bit of retribution.
It would be Josh Allen's first win against Kansas City, too. He's 0-3 against them.
Is he? I thought, no, that's only in the playoffs. I thought he can beat him in the regular season.
Nope.
Now I have to Google this shit.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Josh Allen versus Chiefs. If I can spell Chiefs right. Nope. Why is it giving me everybody's fucking schedule? Fucking stupid shit.
Oh, you know what? You're right. It's he's 0-3 in the playoffs. He's 3-1 in the regular season. My bad.
Right. So yeah, that's what. Okay, so yeah, that makes more sense too.
My bad.
So
honestly,
yeah.
You just can't beat him in the count.
Right. I mean, these games kind of count, but not really, right?
They count a little bit. The playoffs count a little bit more.
Right. Next up, I don't know how this is still a Sunday night game. It's going to be Bills or Bengals, Chargers. Chargers are favored by 2 points.
Chargers have won 4 in a row, and Herbert seems to be healthy. He's clicking with his young wide receivers. Also, to be totally selfish, I dropped a quarterback and picked up Justin Herbert in one of my fantasy leagues. So I'm gonna go with the Chargers because I need him to win.
Honestly, I feel like this Bengals team is irritated and frustrated, and I'm hoping they're kind of come show. Joe Burrow is throwing a crazy amount of touchdowns. I don't know if the Chargers defense can keep up with it. The only reason the Ravens were able to keep up with them last night is because they have a very talented offense. I don't think the Chargers offense is as talented. So we'll see. I think Higgins is actually supposed to play this week too.
Yeah.
So he'll have both his weapons. Right. So yeah, that's where I guess this is my upset pick of the week would be the Bengals. So next up we have the Battle of the Texas. Cowboys versus Texans in Dallas with that glaring sun. Texans are favored by 7.5.
It's a Monday night game. The sun's not going to be up.
Just someone's big old fucking truck's going to come up and just shine lights to it. Be like, Jerry, fix your fucking stadium.
Someone's going to just hover a helicopter out there and just shine a
light
in.
Fucking dome light, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way I can take the Cowboys to even cover this spread, especially with Dak out, Trey Lance out. Probably be their starting QB. But I think
Trey Lance should get the start. I haven't heard that yet. I think they're still looking at Cooper Rush. But the Cowboys season is over. Let's be honest here. Like they're done. Trey Lance, I think what they should be doing is see what you got with him. Cooper Rush, super effective backup. He's gonna make a lot of money holding clipboards and wearing a baseball cap on the sideline and helping run scout teams and doing stuff like that. I think at this point you have nothing to lose by seeing what Trey Lance can offer. I'm taking Houston to this one as well.
Same. Yeah. I mean, there's no way I can choose Cowboys, with that shit. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's our picks of the week there. I thought we made some good picks. So speaking of the Cowboys, do you want to get into that locker room situation?
I mean,
with Micah Parsons taking shots at the coach. Now, were they shots at the coach or were they just overall statements that he's a big players guy?
I think that more of what he was referencing was that's a first down.
Yeah, he got that first down.
I mean, McCarthy is a lame duck coach when they didn't extend him at all. Like they could have put a year or two on that deal and just like not guaranteed of any of the money or anything like that.
Right.
To make it what the players aren't playing for him right now. He's doing the most McCarthy things ever. Really, that's the first down. They're gonna say he didn't get it. Oh no, he did.
No,
get
at least it was first down. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. The way that they're pointing at. Oh, because they flipped field. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Micah Parsons, he's the leader on that defense. Same time, you haven't really played a whole lot this year, buddy. Like, you might want to, maybe get out there and get some action in on it. To me, it's just par for the course. Jerry Jones is mad and threatening, reporters, and I'm sure the behind closed doors is not good. I think McCarthy, they let finish out the year. Maybe they fire him before week 18, and let Mike Zimmer coach that last week. Dak's out, no running game, injuries all over the field. People are sniping at each other.
Right. That locker room's gotten ugly quick.
Well, it has, and they're frustrated because, again, this is a team that had such, and granted, the hype of the potential that they were talking about coming out of the season, I didn't buy because I watched the Cowboys for years. I knew exactly what was going to happen. I didn't expect Dak to get hurt. And
right.
I also understand that having the surgery and not rushing him back when you just gave him that monster deal is the right thing to do for the future. But at the same time, it's like, who is going to be their coach next year? Like, is Jerry Jones ever going to step aside and maybe let Stephen Jones, his son, start being more the face of the franchise, start making more decisions? Jesus Christ. I've driven a car through that.
Right?
Yeah, the wheels are coming off in Dallas, and we're watching two significantly better NFC East teams play each other right now. There's a reason that both these teams beat the crap out of them.
Right.
Like they're a mess. They got a lot of questions. They need to figure out the running game. They need to figure out their coaching situation. They do have talent out there. They do. I just think that the offensive play calling has gotten so stale and so predictable. Right. And that is what happened at the end of McCarthy's run in Green Bay is the exact same thing.
Right. And I think that's going to be the exact same thing here in Dallas, too. So, not surprised. Yeah. I mean, I like McCarthy. I think he's a good coach at times, but I don't think he can be a head coach.
He's not a difference maker like...
Right.
He's not a difference maker as a head coach like McVay or a LaFleur or a Shanahan or anything like that. He's not in that echelon. Again, his stuff is so stale and predictable. And I also wonder, like, especially in Dallas, how much of that is being dictated from the ownership group? How much of that is Jerry saying, here's the pieces I'm going to give you. Here's what we're going to run.
They did not give him that touchdown, huh?
They didn't.
It's going to be a first down, though.
Yeah, first and inches.
Oh, here goes Hurts for a touchdown. We all know what's coming here. Mighty tush push.
Somewhere Jason Kelsey is laughing because he's not going to have to get hit by like 9 buses on this one. So
he's at the game.
Yeah. I know he's Dallas. That's the right call.
Yeah, that's the right call. Yeah, Jason Kelsey's just like, thank God I don't have to look at that, man. Look at all that freaking meat there, dude.
Some beef.
Guys just trying to get off each other, can't even get off each other.
Just a massive humanity out there.
Dude, I know. Pads and bustles. Yeah, because I felt like Kelsey was always the last man up out of that pile last year.
Yeah, he was on the bottom. There's like, a metric tons worth of people were laying on top of him.
Right.
Let me see what else we got here.
Sorry, I always get sidetracked because I do love the tush push. It's a great play.
Well, dude, it's everybody knows what's coming. There's really no defense against it. Right. So these two things tie together. How lucky are the Chiefs? Like, let's be honest here. Like, they should have lost 3 or 4 games at this point. Instead, they're undefeated. But Harrison Butker to the IR today. He needs to have Oh, he missed it. There you go.
He missed that. Wow.
So the kicking game today is just...
Kicking game in general, man.
Yeah, league-wide kicking game is... yeah, for sure. Harrison Butker to the IR.
All these guys are saying, like, you can get a kicker off anywhere. And obviously, there's no wind right there. Those flagpoles weren't moving.
They were not moving at all, yeah. He just hooked it, so.
Yeah.
Bucker to the IR. Arthroscopic surgery on his left knee is going to miss a minimum of 4 weeks.
Wow. Okay. I
Yeah,
didn't hear that.
that's another reason why I think the Chiefs finally lose the first game this week. Now, do I make jokes about Harrison Butker having a female doctor or no female nurses or anything like that? Yes, I'm going to make all of those. Like, I hope every person in that operating room has a fucking vagina and ovaries. Fuck you, Harrison Butker. You're fucking retarded. You know, I really, 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 really do hope that. I hope your political action committee fails and you run out of money because you can't kick.
Wait, he started a political action committee?
You didn't hear? Yeah, he started a political action committee.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
But what's with like athletes and celebrities wanting to be in politics so hard?
Because politics are everywhere these days, unfortunately. You know, and
Right.
I think maybe it's a little bit of ego. It's a little bit of self-preservation. It's a great way to launder money too. I mean, look at the two major. Sorry, everyone. I'm going to wander off into political minefields right now. Both major political parties in the U.S. are glorified money laundering organizations. Let's call it how it is.
Hell yeah.
The passing of Citizens United, the fact that corporations can dump billions of dollars into political campaigns without any sort of questioning or retribution or accounting for it is a problem.
Right.
So why wouldn't athletes, celebrities, movie stars, businessmen start political action committees to launder their money through?
It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Makes perfect sense to me,
Follow the
honestly.
dollar, man. Got to follow the dollar. That's where it's going to go. So, so Butker, and they said that it was something that happened in practice. It was like a non-contact injury. Arthroscopic means it's probably like he tweaked some cartilage or something like that. But again, as we saw with Jake Moody, how effective is he going to be when he comes back? You know, is he going to be the automatic, Butker that he's been his entire career? Is he going to miss a field goal or an extra point that's going to cost them a playoff game or something like that? Time will tell. You know, they have been so close to losing so many games this year that stuff like this can be a difference maker. So it's going to be very interesting to see, like, how it does affect them. Maybe the replacement kicker isn't any good. Like, yeah, it's another chapter that the NFL scriptwriters pulled out of their bag that didn't expect to see this year. Which again goes into my last point of the night. The Chiefs probably are the luckiest football team I've ever seen in my entire life.
This year they are. Definitely
this year they are. Now, yes, have they gotten some questionable calls to go their way? Every fucking week, without a doubt.
And that's what happens when you're the most popular team, though, in the NFL. You're going to get calls your way.
There's that part of it, too. And what frustrates me is they're still an incredibly talented team, and they went and got more talented when they traded for Hopkins.
I know. I was so upset that they got someone's like, "Oh yeah, we'll give you Hopkins." Like, what the fuck? Just because you suck Tennessee so bad that you want to screw over the rest of the league for years to come? Fuck you.
Right, exactly. Like, you could have. Don't tell me there weren't better picks out there from other teams that you could have traded them to. Now, would Hopkins have fought against that? Yeah, for sure. Probably would have happened, but there's no going back and undoing it now. The thing is, they're a talented team. They don't need the help that they're getting from officials and stuff like that. And that's the frustrating part. Now, is it a Vegas conspiracy? Is it, a league conspiracy? I mean, sure, we could all put on our tinfoil hats and go down that road and kind of maybe yeah, maybe no. The other side of that is Detroit is 100% for real.
Right.
Even
with Hutchinson going down.
Even with Hutchinson going down and with one of their top wide receivers managing to get in a new form of trouble every week.
What happened this week?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. Okay.
Yeah, between the PEDs and the gun that he had and asking does his brother's concealed carry, cover that for him, what is it? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, look, any other black man in the state of Michigan getting pulled over with unregistered firearm underneath his seat, he's going to jail. Regardless of who in that car has a concealed carry permit. But because Jameson Williams, plays for the Lions, that's a different story. So the Lions, I think, are the team to beat. They'll probably lose. I'm going to say 1 or 2 more games before the season is over. Probably would be like a week 18 where they've got everything wrapped up and they rest their starters and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Yeah, especially honestly, they'll probably get a week. They'll probably be done by week 16. They'll probably get the first round advantage in the NFC side by
Well,
week 16.
let me pull their schedule up and see what they got left here.
Because with the way everybody else is playing, there's not much on the NFC side that can really catch up to them unless like the Lions just start like choking. And I don't see them doing that at all this year until the playoffs.
So coming up, they've got the Colts, which we discussed, the Bears, Packers, who they already demolished. They got the Bills on December 15th. That's going to be a good game.
Right.
They got the Bears again, the Niners, and then close the season against the Vikings, who they beat on a last-minute field goal. So there are 2 games out there because I personally think they're going to beat the shit out of the Niners. The Niners just aren't at that level right now, which again, that could change. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a month out. The Niners could get on a hot streak, but that's a Sunday night game in Detroit. All the signs point to the Niners not being able to win that game.
So let's put it this way too. So the next closest team to Philly or to Detroit is Philly, and who knows if they come out with a win right here. So Lions are 8-1. Philly is 7-2. The next closest team after that is Atlanta at 6-4.
Right. So Philly actually really, really needs this game to try to keep pace with them. But as we've seen, any given Sunday, the other side of that is I don't see Detroit looking past the team. That's not Dan Campbell's style.
Right. Neither do I. And I could see I could see Commanders coming out here and putting up some points here soon.
Well, not running the ball like that.
Right. Well, I think they're in field goal range already, aren't they?
I gotta look where they're at here.
I think they are.
They keep showing all these terrible Philly fans.
Right. I think they're on like their own 25 or the Eagles 25. Yeah, they're on they're in field goal range.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean they can come up and put up the lead here. And if that makes Philly 7-3, then I mean the Lions can afford to lose 2 games and they'll still be in the first place. So I don't see them not taking first place in the NFC by week 16.
No, you're right. I think they're on the path. They're going to get that first round bye, having to go and play in a raucous stadium, in January. That's going to be a real tough order of business for any team that has to go and do that. Again, I know that the Lions realize, man, they were on the doorstep last year, and they did it to themselves. They're not going to make that mistake 2 years in a row.
Wait, they didn't kick it here? Why don't you take the fucking points in the lead?
That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
What? Wait, what? What? You... Oh, he fumbled it so that...
play. Yeah. Okay, I was wondering outside. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I was wondering what that play call was.
That makes a little more sense. I still would have kicked it there, but that makes a little more sense there. So
I think that the Commanders are just seeing Jake Elliott shank it. They're like, no, sit down, buddy. We don't want to give you the curse too.
Well, Jake Elliott's not their kicker, so
right. But there's yeah. No, people are missing kicks left and right all over the NFL. You can sit down. We're going to go try to run this with you. I mean, don't get me wrong. Jaden Daniels is one of the better quarterbacks out there, and he could pick up that if that play was actually didn't get dropped off at the center. But still, man. So we missing anything else here tonight?
No, we hit everything on the list there.
Okay. Yeah, man. One last thing to talk about the Rams is injuries. So it sounds like McDonald is going to be the Rams' right tackle this year or next game because Nopum hurt his ankle last week, and Havestein is going to be out still. So it sounds like Havestein might be out for a few more weeks. So Rams' right tackle position is going to be third round pick or third round tackle or third string tackle. So and the Patriots defensive end there is He's been putting up a lot of pressures. He's been getting a lot of sacks.
They sacked Caleb Williams 9 times last week.
Yeah, so that brings up some concerns. That's why I'm hoping Limmer is at center, Avila's left guard, Dotson's at right guard, and then this hopefully our tackles can do their jobs, at least slow them down.
I think it's time to go ahead and dig up the. I know you got Sean McVay's email somewhere. I think you need to send him a breakdown of like how the offensive line should be put together and who should be playing where. I think it appreciates. I think it
appreciates. Yeah, right. I'm pretty sure he's not hearing that from everybody else. Like, why is Jonah Jackson at center, especially after last week?
Yeah.
I mean, he called out the line in the press conference right away. He's like, our offensive line's got to do better. I mean, that was one of his first few full sentences, is that the offensive line has to do better. And that's, for McVay, that's calling them out in the press conference.
Well, I mean, the offensive line has to do better, but also I feel like his lack of scheming and adjustments is as much to blame. You know, like.
So Ramsey covered Cooper Kupp, which we all knew what he was going to do, because Ramsey knows Cooper Kupp and he covered him so much in practice.
Yeah.
And then they doubled Puka and they left the Robinson and Tutu Atwell just zone coverage, and that's how you beat the Rams. But can you?
I personally think that there was probably some looks at Robinson, but because of the pressure that was coming up the middle, he never had a chance to get to that part of his read.
Right, exactly. Right, so, and that, like I said, I'm begging for Limmer to be back out there. I really am. I didn't want him to leave. I said it last week. I said it over and over again last week. Limmer deserves a chance to keep that center spot. So, but man, that guy was wide open.
I want to cover him.
Billy picked it up. God. Dude. Just think about that, dude. Having it be wide open like that and then dropping the ball. Thank God someone jumped on that ball. That dude saying.
Punch. Textbook.
Right?
That's how you dislodge a fucking football.
Yeah. Dude, they got lucky he was right there.
Dude. That's also why you run downfield as an offense to be there for that shit happen.
Especially if you're a wide receiver or a tight end, you got the speed. I get the offensive linemen not charging down the field because they're not as quick.
Right, but if you're a skill player, you got to be down there and doing stuff like that. So
yeah, and they just got done grappling with a guy for 10 seconds. You know, you're winded. Trying to hold down another 300-pound guy, coming right at your face. Yeah,
to try to get downfield. Yeah.
And you don't want your quarterback running downfield doing something stupid.
Yeah,
unless you're the size of LeBron. No, that's it. That's it from us tonight. You have anything? You don't have anything, right?
No, I do not. Again, thanks everybody for the engagement over the last couple of weeks. We appreciate you watching James and I pretend that we know what we're talking about. We're going to keep doing it as long as you'll be having us. As always, please subscribe, leave us your opinions on stuff. Again, the hate line is always open.
Remember, everybody, sports bring camaraderie to the fans, and the easiest way to make money on the internet is to scare you guys. You guys all have a good night.
See you guys.